Okie dokie. Welcome to another episode of Look What Jess Found. This is episode 802. And we have a New York 2025 New York penny roll in front of us on the desk. And let's see what we got. Let's get it out on the table. Let's get it out on the tray. All right. Who knows what that's from? Everybody knows what that's from. Everyone knows Steve. I don't have a jingle. How come I don't have a jingle like Steve does? Let's get it out in the tray. All right. All right. We got a couple dirties in there. No big deal. And we're starting off with a shiny 2024. It's early in the morning. I usually do my videos between 5:30 and 7 in the morning. And depending on how I wake up, what mood I'm in, all that jazz. If I had my coffee at 5:30 is too early for my coffee. That's just way, way, way too early. That's not a white AM. If I got a busy day ahead of me, all kinds of stuff affect me. No, I didn't check it good enough. I see that in his neck by his ear, a little indentation there. It looks like a die. That doesn't look like a die clash right there under his ear. Well, there's nothing on the other side, and the condition's not that great. All right, first copper penny. So today, I wake up and I check my eBay, and two things were muy bueno. One is because I can't, I try to watch the auctions and snipe them, like if I'm going to buy something, right? So I don't spend even an extra penny. I say what I want to spend. I wait for the last 3-4 seconds, and I put my ultimate bid, and either I get it or I don't, But if there's something I'm really interested in, and I'm going to go to sleep, I'm not going to stay up anymore. I used to stay up to 2-3 o'clock in the morning for an auction. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I would if it was something like really, really expensive. Then I probably wouldn't throw like a $5,000 bid on something and hope, because anyway, I just wouldn't do that for something expensive. But in that $100 range, yeah, I'll roll the dice. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a fool if I wait. Let's say I'm willing to pay $100 for something, right? And then I wake up in the morning and I didn't put a bid on it, and it sold for $40. I'm gonna kick myself in the pants. So for things that I really want, if I know what my bid is, as cup pain number 2, I will throw a bid on it before I go to bed. And this morning I got up and I won 2 out of like the 4 or 5 auctions that I bid on. And one of them was a box of pennies I got for $80 shipped, which I'm really happy about that. Or 82, 83, something like that. It was under 100. Everybody else wants 95 as the lowest. And there's only like 1 or 2 for 95. Then it jumps to like 100, 105, 120, 150, 200. It's crazy, man. So I said, if I can save 10, $15, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I got it for $80. So I was really, really happy about that. I know come 2027, you are not finding a box of pennies for under $100 in auction. Another shiny. We got 3 shinies and 2 coppers. I know come 2027, it's a wrap. Because that's really it. Remember, 2026, I spoke about this, and you probably know this already. Cop pay number 3. They are making a 2016 penny. It's just not for circulation. Another shiny. That one's pretty close. And here's another. It looks like copper. My first thought was copper, but then after I picked it up, I said, nah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think it's copper. 83 Denver. I was right. So, you know what? I'm going to put these over here from now on. I'm going to reorganize my little desk space. You know, I have this little tiny space here that's my whole little world for 8 years, man. The funny thing is, I know I'm switching topics, but before this, we lived in a smaller house, and my desk, I still had a desk about this size, but that was really it. There was 1 foot to the right of my desk, and that was the closet. To the left was the wall, and so basically, I've been using a desk for my whole life. I mean, I had jobs. This is the first time I'm not working in my life outside of the home, ever in my life. It took 50 something years for me to get to that point where I could work 100% from home. As long as I can. If I have to go out and get a job, then that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I'm going to put food on the table, but it's going to stop me from doing that. Um, but basically, for the past 2010 to 2026, 16 years, large majority of my life has been a little desk in front of me. And it's funny because it kind of reminds me, and I'm fascinated by it too. I watched all the videos. I can't find any more videos. I watched them all on the Japanese coffin houses, or coffin apartments, or coffin rooms, whatever they are. And basically, they take an apartment and they put bunk beds, and around the bunk beds they put a cage, right? And that cage is your house. Okay, so there's usually 2 bunk beds in a room, right? And the person pays whatever they pay, $100 a week for that, and you put a cage around it because that's your house, that bed. And you see on the wall behind, next to the bed, they have little shelves, and they got all this stuff, and they'll hang things from from the cage around the bed. And it fascinates me how people can, like, the ingenuity of the human being is absolutely amazing. Like, we want to live, and we want to thrive, and we want to survive even if we're sick and die. It's just what we are, you know. And I've made this little space, you know. I made this little space here in my life. You know, everything's there. It's crowded, but you know, reminds me a little bit of one of those coffin. I mean, obviously it's different. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to minimize their life experience or anything like that. I'm just saying I use a little desk, and it makes me happy. You know, now would I love a bigger office space? Sure. I mean, I do have space around me. You know, it's very tight though. I have one little office, and it's jam packed with everything is in here. And you know, you want to connect it. I bet you those coffin people, somebody gives them a meal. You know, maybe there's, I mean, there's like a community. I don't even know if they have a shower, to be honest with you. Maybe a community sink that 20 people wash in with a, and they're probably very happy about that. You know, maybe the water's not on all the time. 71 Denver. And when that water's on, and God forbid it's warm, you know, they're like, whoa, you know, it's a big deal, you know. And I wish that type of poverty on nobody, you know, unless you experience poverty, you have no idea what it's like. Okay. If you've never experienced poverty, and your first thought about a poor person is, you know, how come they don't pick themselves up by their bootstrap? Yeah, people are born into that. People are born into that lifestyle. And when you're born into that lifestyle, you That's what you know. That's what life is to you. I still have contact occasionally with people from my past, and when I talk to them, you know, I mean, I went to college and I became a professional. And that's how I pulled myself off my bootstraps. But I'm one out of so many people I know from my childhood are dead, jail, mentally ill. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So it's yeah. Some people can pull themselves up by the bootstraps. You know, for me, you want to know? I'm gonna end here. This is a beautiful, beautiful 1980 with a die clash. Wow. How about on the front? I wish I had a strong die clash on the front. I could see a little bit, looks like behind the neck, maybe. No, they must have polished it out really good. It's just right. You can see the polish lines on the bottom. See the lines? That's a really nice coin, man. Um, yeah, my life, I gotta be honest with you. If I look back at my life, right, with my history, which I'm not gonna get into, I get into a little bit of it on my members only channel. I talk a little bit about it. Maybe I'll do that soon. Do it again, for the new members. And shout out to all my members. Thank you for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. Um, was the day I started believing in Christ. I kid you not, man. If I had to think, if I go back and I look at my life choices, it wasn't until Christ I allowed Christ into my heart that I allowed him, right? Because you have to keep him away. He's always there. So as soon as you accept Christ into your life, your whole life changes. And that's when my life changed. And I'll be honest with you, not the education, nothing made a difference in my life. Like letting Christ. It's that's when I, I mean, there's certain things that are scientific. Don't get me wrong. There's genetics, there's psychology, right? And you can't escape certain. But and those are my sins. Those are my imperfections, of course, because no one's perfect except for Christ. And but it wasn't. But the change that started happening from that point, like I don't know, man. I don't even think I would be alive, to be honest with you, man. I'm not exaggerating. My wife would 100% agree with that statement. And I think that's if I had to make the statement, man, like one thing to do in life, your whole life, you're gonna do one thing is to have Christ in your life. That's it. Like outside of your human imperfections that you have to atone for and work on as a I don't know, as a human thing, nothing else really matters. That's like that's it, you know. Let me see. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this as a shiny. I don't think so. It's close, man. It's really, really close. Just has a little bit of dirt there, which would come out. It's a little too worn. I'm not gonna keep it. Well, that's my good news for the day. 82. We got another 82. I think the other one was a Denver, right? Put those two together. Got a lot of copper, man. We got 9 copper so far. One more, and we'll have Baker's dozen. Oh man, if you had an extra V on here, that would be a wrap. I see a little line there. I don't think that's an extra. I look at it through the loop, but I'm 99% sure it's not the extra V. No, but it is a nice shiny, and it's a 2023, and I will put that into the 2023. Num num num. The 2023, and we got a shiny Lincoln Memorial. It's a pretty nice one. I think so. Yeah, I'll hold on to that too. Shiny Lincoln Memorial. So we'll end on this. No idea. Um, the I got the box of pennies. Here goes cop pay number 10. Yeah, baby. Cop pay number 10. Nice 1970. That box of pennies that I got, super happy that I got that for $80. And I put a bid on these marbles, man. This marble lot. Man, I really want to stay up to the end because I was like, I think they were like, I mean, hold on, I think I have it here. Let me look. 9. I was gonna say 8 to 10. And I'll show you the picture. So the one right there, that's 1.25 or 1 point something. I think that's 1.25, and then that one is that's a 1 incher. So we got a 1 1/4 and a 1 inch. See the difference between the one, or maybe that's the 1 incher and that's the 1 1/4. It doesn't matter really. The difference between 1 1/4 and the 1 inch, it's so huge. I was gonna make a joke, right? Oh no, it's 1.5. It's 1.5 inches. I'm sorry. So it's 1 inch to an inch. Okay, so that makes more sense. And then we got a bunch of 0.8s. But these little even those little marbles there, those are beauties, man. These are such beautiful, beautiful marbles. And I mean, that marble there, that 1.5 inch handmade marble, anywhere between 50 and depending on, I mean, it's not a good picture, man. You know, that could be between 50 and 100 and $200. 1.5, 50 and $150. And then there's a vortex one there. I don't know if you can see it. It's a bad picture. Again, there it goes. The vortex. Always wanted one of those. Those vortex marbles are like $100. So I said I'm gonna throw a bid on it, and I got it for under $100. Man, I was psyched. And those are little things that make me happy. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm simple, man. I'm simple. I'm simple now. Don't get this is our last penny, and it's a beauty, a nice shiny. Don't get me wrong. I play lotto, and if the Lord was to see me fit enough to bless me, I would not be one of those. I pray to God that I would not be one of those a-holes who blow, $10 million. First of all, I'm married, so there's none of that chicks and partying and crap. I would probably go on some serious vacations with my wife, and we'd both have new cars, that's for sure, and a new house. And hopefully some money on the side. I'd probably buy gold and silver with a big chunk of it just to have a hedge against inflation. And that would be it. But you know what? If I don't get it, which right, you're more likely to get hit by a lightning bolt twice than winning the friggin' lotto. So, that's all right. But I still play, I'm saying. You know what I mean? I still play. I still would love to have. I'm sure the person in the little coffin house, he would probably like a bigger space to live in, and we all want to improve our life. So I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think that's part of what makes us want to get up in the morning. Anyway, God bless. I hope you enjoyed the video. I went a little bit off to the side today. I do that on occasion. And again, episode what did I say? 802. 802. I will see you in episode 803. And don't forget, Jesus loves you. And I'll see you in the next one.